So I don't normally do videos in the summertime because it's hot and I'm out driving these things instead of messing with them. But one of the things that I've struggled with on a couple of my cars is the stereo systems. You know, this car, you've seen some of the build stuff maybe on it, 6.2 LS, modern suspension and all that, but it still has very much the old school look, kind of an old school wheel combination. It just looks like an old hot rod, even though it's modern underneath. I want to continue that look through the dash and everything else, and I don't want to cut into the dash and put a modern sound system in it, but I do want the modern sound system, feel, sound, everything else. So I'm out on a friend's boat earlier this summer, and he goes over to, we're in the back of the boat, and he goes to turn the stereo down, and instead of going up to where the stereo system is, he's just pushing buttons on this little wired remote control. I don't know, it's a couple inches in diameter, it's small, and he could turn it on, turn the volume down, turn it up, switch it between different modes, fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind, pause, all out of this system. I'm like, that's cool, so where's the head unit? And he takes me up to the console with the steering wheel and where all the controls are for this boat. And there sits something similar, but just bigger. It's 3-inch diameter base down here, and it fit right into one of the instrument holes on his boat. And it is the complete system. It's all Bluetooth, so it allows him to just stream everything. He's like, look, nobody is running cassettes or running, you know, DVDs, or not DVDs, CDs much anymore. And the way to do it is just stream stuff off your phone. And that's what I do in the car that I drive every day. And I'm like, boy, that would be great. And it got me thinking about these old cars. So fast forward a couple weeks later, I did a little bit of research. I ordered up the Kicker KMC2, which is the Bluetooth head unit. And then the wired remote is the Kicker KRC12, 46 KRC12 wired remote. It's got like 25 foot of cable, so plenty of room. And I already did one of these. I did it in my little Porsche 914. It had a stereo in it, but I didn't like it. It was way too modern for that car. Sounded good, but just didn't do the aesthetic that I liked. So I had a couple instruments that were below the dash, and I didn't like those. They got in the way of my long legs. So I pulled the instruments, we built a plate and removed the stereo system and put the instruments there. And then decided to go with this same setup, exact same one. I ordered 2 of each at the time and hid it in the frunk of the 914 and then put the controller down kind of where the heater control is on that little car. And it fit in perfect. It doesn't really look out of place. It's small, and I'm really happy with it. When the guy who helps me out laser cutting some stuff, when he did the round plate, which will receive the 3-inch head unit, I had him make 2 of them, so I've got one for the Bel Air. So we're gonna do the Bel Air up next. I'm starting on it today. Again, I'm just gonna keep the old stereo system in it that's there. It stinks as a stereo, but the look is right. So instead of cutting up the dash, instead of trying to find an old one, it just blends in perfect and doesn't stand out. So it's gonna kind of disappear even though it's there. I'm gonna put the head unit in the trunk, and I'm gonna figure out exactly where I wanna put this little remote control. Kicker, KMC2 and 46 KRC12. Here we go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is figure out where I want the head unit, and I think right here next to the trunk hinge, this is the donut, if you will, that my friend laser cut for me, and the head unit will go in there. I took just a piece of steel that was reasonably thick and somewhat long, and I just bent it on the vise so that I can mount it up underneath this trunk tray, which is nice solid steel. I'll weld it onto this guy, and that should hold it good and steady so I can mount the head unit there. It's out of the way. It'd be nice if I could do it over here, but I don't really see that as a viable option from a size perspective. And having that there, that gets it plenty out of the way, plenty of room to do other stuff in the trunk and just get her done. So I think that's where we are there. There we go. So there's my bracket, and there's that coming down. I don't want to shut it all the way because I'm home alone, but you can tell there we're going to have plenty of clearance. You can see up underneath there where this bracket comes into play, and that's what I'm just going to use self-tappers and tap that in there, and then I'll pop some welds up on the back to hold that good and steady, and she should be good to go. So here's a donut bracket, if you will, out of the car. Again, really simple stuff. Just bent it on the bench vise, held it together with this clamp, and I'm just gonna weld her up, hold her on there real good, and then I'll grind everything down and make it a little smooth. But really, it doesn't matter what it looks like because it's all hidden. So it was just a scrap piece of metal, and I think it'll do the trick for us really well. And then I'll sandblast it and put some paint on it, and we'll call her good. You will have heard me say that I am the self-proclaimed worst welder in all of West Michigan, if not the entire state, if not the entire country. But my stuff sticks together. When I need it pretty, I have friends who are good and help me out. But in a situation like this, we're welding on the backside, so it really doesn't matter as long as it sticks together. I'm also a very good grinder. That is going to hold. That's not going anywhere. So I will get it in the sandblaster. I might grind a little bit up here just to make it look cleaner, but that's going to hold really well. It'll cool down, sandblast it, primer up, paint it, and that'll be plenty good. I like it. Got a little metal clamp in there, just holding it into place. I want to make sure that we're looking good here. So that's how it'll sit. It'll be flush. I'll probably move it over just a little bit closer, but it doesn't really matter either way. But I think once that thing is screwed into place, it'll be good and tight. See if I can be a contortionist here. Get one of these started. Oh, of course. Don't you love it when you go to do something and the battery's dead? Oh, well, we got the hole started. That's good enough. I can finish that up with a fresh battery. Okay. Get it reasonably square. Put the stereo back in it. Looks pretty good to me. Oh yeah. All kinds of room. I like it. That's what it looks like from the back. And we'll clean her up and get her painted. One of my absolute favorite tools is the sandblaster. In a very short time, it makes the ugly not so ugly. Also gives a really nice surface to paint. So there's a quick look. It's all blasted. Just cleans it up. So now that the head unit's done in the trunk, got to figure out where to put the remote controller. And my initial thought was down here by the shifter, have it come off the seat and be sitting, you know, over here somewhere. I can easily reach down for it, but pretty visible. Certainly reversible without doing any damage to the car. But then I was thinking, well, heck, going right up under the dash next to this AC vent, I can move the OBD2 port over a little bit and it'll just sit. You know, I put it in cardboard obviously so that I can just kind of figure it out. But I think right there will be good. It'll be flush up against. It's just a couple holes on the underside of the dash, so I'm not cutting into the dash or anything. And that should do the trick. So I'll work up a little bracket and get things moved around, and that should handle it. Using my cardboard template as a template, quick sketch onto another piece of scrap steel, secured it down, and now going to use a hole saw to drill something that should be reasonably round. Not completely perfect, but good enough for what we're doing. It's got a hole, which is what we're after. And if we did it right, that's going to fit in there just like so. I think it'll probably be like that. We'll put a bend in it here and she'll be working for what we need. I ran out of wheels of death, so I went out, and DeWalt sells this thing. He says it's good for 1,000 cuts. So we'll see. There's one cut down, and I'll be darned if it didn't look straight. So that is a good sign. No. Let's see if I can bend that back. Well, probably not good as new, but good enough. Maybe I'll be a little more careful this time. Now, that's something good to start with, and I can figure out where to bend it, and we'll see how it'll mount up. Pretty scientific here. All right, that might be pretty close to what I need. All right, here's the bracket for the little controller. It'll get sandblasted, primed and painted, and then she'll be good to mount up. So you can see where the remote is, and I'm happy with that. You know, you've still got the OBD2 port, move that over, got the air conditioning controller there, and it's going to fit in well. So it's not secured in here yet because I need to wire it, but nobody wants to watch a wiring video for something like this. So wiring should be pretty cut and dried. We'll just spend some time cleaning it up and making it look good, and it should just be done on a snap. So since I snapped my fingers, it's been over 5 hours, and it's not because it took 5 hours to wire it. I ended up rewiring the fans for the air conditioning and did a couple other things and some general cleanup. But here's the mount. I'm really happy with that. I moved the OBD2 port over here. Air conditioning stayed where it was. When you turn the key, this thing lights up really nice. Easy to see it and control it from the back, or excuse me, from here. It lights up everything in the back, which I'll show you in a minute. It already just connected 50s music, no less, for this car. Easy to do, easy to get at and push. And then in the back of the car, There's your display. You can see everything's lit up. Cool thing is I could power it off from the front if I want. It just shuts everything down. As far as wiring, like I said, it took some time because I wanted it looking decent back here, but there's that. The rest is just speaker wire and the cable going up to the front. So bottom line reality is, you know, you're $300 total for the stereo and the remote, and some time for sure. You know, all in all, making the brackets and all that, it was scrap steel, so I didn't have money in that. And my friend made me the laser cut parts for free, which was really nice because it was scrap stuff for him. But it takes some time and around $300 in material, and you're all set with a stereo that just doesn't stick out too much in this car, gives you great sound, and I think it's going to do the trick. So hope this helps somebody along the way. Good luck.